Oh boy, here we go again. Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we're of course going to be discussing the recent news, drama, and community outcry regarding the Division 2's latest update to U16.1. As well as the overall state of the game, I'm going to be giving my perspective and opinion on the whole matter, which I know, ew, gross, nobody likes those, so apologies in advance, but we're doing it anyway because I have some thoughts, unsurprisingly, so let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. I of course want to hear all of your thoughts below, but you must keep things civil and non-personal. I will not tolerate any slurs, personal attacks, anything of the sort. There are ways to communicate your frustrations without using any of those, so please do so. Very short recap for anybody who may be out of the loop. Title Update 16 for the Division 2 released back on September 13th. Immediately there were a lot of issues, not game-breaking, but notable and very annoying. Those issues, as well as a lot of implementations that weren't ready in time for the main TU16 update, were planned for TU16.1. That came out this past Tuesday, that update, with more issues. It fixed a good number of things it was supposed to be fair, but further complicated some of the old stuff, didn't properly implement some of the new stuff, etc. And it changed Floor 10 of the summit, which is perhaps the most divisive topic, and people are all up in arms again. Now, when I sat down to script this video, it gave me major deja vu. So I went back and looked, and this video that I put the thumbnail for up on screen, I made just a few months back, days after TU 15.1 came out. And honestly, it feels like we're right back in the same spot, both with the game as well as the community. I'm going to link that video in the upper corner because I still think it's very relevant as for my thoughts on the whole matter. So do please go and watch it if you're so inclined. But what I really want to try and explain in this video is just how I feel so many people in this community are stuck. What do I mean by that? Well, if you go back into Division's history, bugs and glitches and the processes and time taken to fix those issues have always been a pain point with the game and community in Division 1 and 2. I think it's slightly unfair how bad people portray it since every single online game has bugs. It's practically inevitable, but it's true and fair. Division has always faced a lot of bug issues, particularly when new updates or content release. And it feels like almost every time it happens, people make the harshest claims and the wildest statements that this is unacceptable, we deserve better, things need to change. And look, maybe that's true, but you're still here, aren't you? This is my entire point, especially going into year 4. The writing was kind of on the wall. This development team currently has, I believe, roughly 1/10 the total developers and resources it once had back during year 1. A lot of them are new hires to the game being brought onto a project which was made by entirely different people using entirely different methods. And they're now trying to evolve and expand a game and experience that was likely never intended to be evolved this much. And look, those aren't excuses to try and say that the issues we're seeing are justified or okay for a product that we paid for and are supporting. But at a certain point, especially with the current context of things, this is the pattern. Nothing is drastically changed behind the scenes since TU15. Were people really this shocked that TU16 is having its fair share of issues as well? Because I'm not. And like I explained in that other video, again, if you want more context, I'll encourage you to go and watch it. But for myself personally, it has never been worthwhile for me to get worked up or overly angry or stressed about these types of issues or bugs. They're obviously not intentional. I'll remind you that Yannick told us back during the Season 9 reveal stream that a lot of people working on this game right now were given the option to go and work on Avatar or Star Wars. And guess what? They chose to stay and work on Division 2. They want to see this game succeed. Clearly, there are issues in the production pipeline somewhere. The last 3 apparel events have been delayed. There are fixes for issues and often create sub-issues. Communication has been spotty. There's work and improvements to be made, no doubt, but it is certainly not for a lack of care or passion that these problems are occurring. And so again, as I said in that last video, I don't find it productive in any way on the internet or in my own life to get so worked up over this stuff. I record all the information, I receive about an issue, submit the feedback through the proper channels, and hope it gets resolved soon. And if something were to ever truly bother me that greatly or deeply, I can turn off my console and go do something more productive. And I say all of this because I'm seeing increasingly vicious and rage-filled comments and discussions from people online. Again, to go back to that common slogan, this is unacceptable, we deserve better as a community, and things need to change. Let's break that down. This is unacceptable. Okay, if you feel that way, I can't blame you. We deserve better as a community. Okay, maybe we do. Things need to change, sure. But if you say that on Twitter and then immediately jump right back into the game after playing, I'm sorry to say it, nothing is going to change, at least not to help that specific cause you're so upset about, because, as has been explained to us before, this game's continued support and content is dependent on its popularity and sales. Yannick has explained that to us himself. If people keep playing and they sell premium passes, we'll keep getting more content. Ubisoft isn't cross-referencing your game account with your online profile and saying, this person is unsatisfied with the state of the game, this person is almost ready to quit. If you say those things and then you hop right back into the game, all they see is that you're still playing despite the current issues with the game. And kind of the whole reason I'm saying that is that it will not surprise me in the least. In fact, I'm kind of expecting that TU17 and probably even the update after that will have similar cycles here. We have some awesome content coming, no doubt. I'm stoked for Descent. Can't wait to see what's in store for PvP in Season 11, beyond hype for the specialization rework. But if you guys really think that words on Twitter are going to magically alleviate the problems and learnings that are still occurring with this development team, they're just not. TU17 will have issues. They'll bring out a 17.1. Same with TU18, etc., etc. And it's just going to be really sad for me to see the community cannibalize themselves every time this happens and go down that same path of volatility. So I want to reiterate something I mentioned in that video last time, and I know this isn't always popular, so be it. But if you truly feel like your voice isn't being heard and you want serious change to occur, stop playing the game. I know that's a shitty resolution. It's not an ideal one or a fair one, but like I said, getting angry at the people who are trying their best to improve and then jumping right back onto the game and playing does nothing. But if all of these people online truly feel the way they're saying they do, all of them suddenly not logging in anymore would have to make Ubisoft raise an eyebrow, and that would then lead them to have to make a decision for better or worse. And that's not something I even like to float. You know, I adore this game and franchise. I love continuing to make content for it. But like I said, so many people are just stuck. And I think if you really feel that strongly and want to see change happen, then that's going to be your best course of action. I do truly think we're eventually going to see things stabilize. I would guess that once we get into year 5 a little bit, there'll have been enough time learning, enough extra support vetted and brought on that hopefully the production pipeline can be pretty well oiled, but that's going to take time. And as wishful thinking as it was, that wasn't going to solve itself from one update to the next. And like I said, as excited as I am for the cool stuff we have coming up, I am expecting there to be more bumps in the road. It's pretty much inevitable. I'm going to personally continue handling it the same way I always have, be as helpful and productive as I can in solving these issues and enjoying the rest of the game as I always have in the meantime. But I truly hope that for those people in the community who feel burnt, who feel stuck, I hope this helped change your perspective a little bit, because as unfortunate of a reality as it is with this game's circumstances, we can't change it with wishes and words. It's going to take time and actionable steps, and whatever form that takes place in for you listening, I hope you're able to take it, because like I said, the community meltdown every time the cycle repeats itself is just sad to see. Truly. Alright, well that was my attempt to give some perspective on the situation. Hopefully it wasn't entirely a failure, but who knows, it's a complex issue and everybody's got a different viewpoint. Again, I would love to hear all of your thoughts about it, but please just keep things civil. Before we close out then, I just wanted to quickly touch on some of the actual issues TU 16.1 currently has, as well as the drama surrounding it, specifically with Floor 10. As far as the bugs go, we know they're all aware of the major ones. I hope Karos and the Shrapnel Trap are able to be fixed properly ASAP. The issue with the closer chest being reinstated with the wrong attributes, that's more of a tricky one. If they're actually able to figure out what roles they used to have and restore those, then great. I just don't know if that's actually an option. What I will say is that I think I would be totally okay with the team starting to get more creative with some of these fixes. For example, if they're unable to properly restore them for whatever reason, I would say just grant everybody a cache with 10 randomly rolled closers and one of those compensation caches with a crap ton of materials. Is that the most ideal? Maybe not, but chances are you'll at least get one of them, if not more, that are rolled the way you want, and then you've got plenty of resources to recalibrate it how you see fit, plus a bunch of extra as a thanks for the waiting. I think that kind of approach with this stuff and even future issues could do nothing but help with this situation. So I don't know if they'll do that, but that's just my 2 cents. And as far as the summit goes, I talk a lot about this on the most recent stream I did after it was announced that they wanted to change it, but I understand why people are upset about the change. It's been in the game a long time. They've never mentioned having a problem with it before, but at the same time, you can't deny that it's clearly an unintended way of playing the game mode. It grants far more XP per minute than any other option in the game, and maybe they feel that that's just limiting to the overall player base if they feel like they need to learn this outside method of farming just to stay up to date. That all said, I tried Floor 10 once and never did it again. I found it unbelievably boring, so I don't really feel like I have much of a dog in this fight. When they announced it was changing, my biggest thing was, alright, if you're changing Floor 10, is there any sort of plan in place to eventually make Summit more relevant as a mode itself? Because now that it's changed, I don't see why people would ever go back to the Summit, and I think that's something they're going to have to address. As far as the change going in secretly and them not mentioning it in the patch notes, obviously that's not good. It shouldn't have happened. Since then, Daria has provided some clarification on the matter. In this first one, she added onto a comment Morton said, where he first said, "I just want you all to know that we have seen the feedback on the chest rolls, the trap, and holster. Our official channels will report it when we have info to share." And then Daria added, just wanted to add that we totally understand your frustration. The team is doing everything to mend the situation. And then when asked about the summit fiasco specifically, she said, it's not that we decided to withhold the summit information on purpose to piss everyone off. What was communicated at the time, we assumed was true. So there you go. It seems like it not making it into the patch notes was an issue with the right hand not talking to the left, which is not good, obviously. But again, those are the production pipeline issues I was talking about. There's a lot of room for improvement. I continue to believe that's best supported by us with constructive discussions and actionable responses instead of endless hateful rants and private messages to devs on Twitter. But if you do feel that way and that is your regular course of action, I hope you'll take to heart what I was saying earlier in the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about these latest happenings in the Division community. What's your stance on the TU 16.1 issues and drama? What action do you plan to take because of it? And how do you feel about the future of the Division 2 right now? I'll say one more time, please keep things respectful and civil in the comments. There's ways to communicate without personal insults, believe me. That's going to do it for me today though, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold. Ow.